Welcome back, and if you haven't been here before, welcome! This is my channel, and I still have no clue what I'm doing. This week I made a couple of crafts, which I've already finished doing, but I didn't create an intro, so yeah. This is going great. It's absolutely amazing. I hope you enjoy. The first craft that I made this week was a friendship bracelet, like I did last week as well. And I did pattern number 18851 on Bracelet book. And this is a pattern that I actually found on Pinterest over a year ago, I think. And one of my best friends really liked it, and I told her that I would make it for her at some point. I also told her that I probably wouldn't get around to making it for a while because I'm lazy and don't actually really get around to doing much. Well, I have the time, I just don't use it properly. So to start out, since it has a base of 26 strings, I took 13 strings, folded them in half, and then did loop knots around a skewer stick that I just cut, and then I did it around that and taped it down to a workable surface and started knotting. I'm just doing a straight copy of the pattern, so it starts off with blue and the background of it is entirely blue, and then you go into the green, brown, black, a darker green, a pink, and a cream color, and then those just switch out interchangeably. This is actually the first alpha pattern that I've done in a while. It's actually one of the first bracelet patterns I did in a while. Last week I made a normal bracelet pattern, but before that it had actually been a couple months before I made really any bracelet. So it was an experience. It's been a while since I've made an alpha, and I really did enjoy making it. It took me about 5 hours. It was a little bit less than hours, but with the recording and everything, it came out to be like 4 hours and 53 minutes with me putting all the strings down and doing the loops onto the wooden rod and then knotting all of it and making the ends and everything. But this is sped up a lot faster, so you don't have to sit through 5 hours of me making a very tiny wall hanging. Unless, I don't know who would actually want to sit through all of that. But if you want to, I can make a 5-hour video. I really did like making this, though. It turned out really well, in my opinion. Really, I can't get stuff done so fast, because I have darted alpha pattern that I probably started like 6 months ago that is still sitting on my desk. I should really get back to doing that. Maybe I'll do that and with another bracelet. Because this is 2 out of 3 birthday presents that I make for friends, because they all have birthdays in the month of May, and I was not prepared. So this is actually the one that's coming up just a couple days from now. I did the one at the end of the month first for some reason, because obviously I have no sense of time. But this is gonna be given to one of my best friends in just a couple of days, and I hope she really likes it. The really long version of the story behind this pattern was before I really got into making bracelets a lot. Like, I don't make them a terrible amount now, but usually during the summer I make a ton. But before that, I would just be on Pinterest looking at bracelet patterns, and that's firstly how I found a bunch of bracelet patterns, was just on Pinterest, and then I would screenshot them and keep them in photos. But then whenever I went to go give credit on my Instagram or something, I would have to look at the bottom left-hand corner of the photo where it would actually say where it came from. So then I would have to go to the website. But anyway, I was on Pinterest one day, and this was during lunch. I was sitting with my friend, and I was just looking at a bunch of patterns, and this pattern just randomly came up, and she was looking over my shoulder. And I think I remember if I made it for her, she would stay. I don't have time. So I told her that definitely make it for you, but don't expect it to be done in a week. Expect it to take 5 years for me to actually do this, because I knew anything. So when I finally got an account on Bracelet Book, I saved this pattern along with a bunch of others, so now my to-do list is super long. But I saved this one just so I could remember, like, you gotta make that for her at some point. And now with her birthday coming around this year, and since I started a YouTube channel and I need to actually post to it, at least in my opinion, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna make this bracelet for her. It's not actually a bracelet, but I'm gonna make this little piece of woven string for her. And so I did. And I hope she really likes it. I'm not gonna post a reaction or anything, but maybe next week I'll tell you guys if she really liked it or not. Because it was 5 hours of my time, so I hope she likes it. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the knotting process, and when you get to the painting section of the video, I will be back. For another craft I decided to do this weekend, I decided to paint another card, but since I didn't want to do 2 cards and a bracelet like I did last week, I just decided to do 1 card, and here I am struggling to tape it because this tape is old and doesn't like being cooperative at all. So I taped it, and then I did a base coat, and I didn't record all the base coats I did because I think I did like 2 or 3. I just recorded the first one, and you can't really see it on camera how the red hearts still poke through like the white paint because I don't think this white paint has great coverage, but you know, they were still there, and it annoys me to see that back and over off camera. And then after that paint had dried, I got on to painting. Now, back in kindergarten, a long time ago, we did this one craft where you had a big piece of paper and it was sectioned off into boxes, and then you painted like circles around circles, and I was reminded of that this weekend, and I thought it would be really fun and cool to paint it on a card. So it's nothing complicated. It can get a bit tedious when you don't know what color you want to use, and you have to switch between colors, which I never really like doing all that much because then you have to wash the paintbrush off and it just takes more time. But I had a lot of fun. It was pretty relaxing to just sit there and paint, and the end product turned out very well. If there's any weird stuff happening in the recording, it's because my cat is walking all over me, and I think he is enjoying it, so I'm not gonna stop him. I decided to just use the colors of the rainbow because I could, and instead of putting it on a palette this time, I ended up just using the tubes of paint because I felt like when I used the palette last video, I wasted a bunch of paint, and I didn't really want to do that again. So here I am just painting in the circles, and the bad part about the red and the orange is you can't quite tell the difference between them on camera. Even in person, you can't see much of a difference, like if the lighting's not good, but there is a difference. There is 2 colors there. It just kind of looks like one. And the way I did these circles was I did all the colors around them. So like in the upper left-hand corner where it's blue, green, yellow, I decided that if I put blue in the center, I could only have purple or green around it. So that way it still looked almost like it was going in a rainbow, but it didn't have like any of the bad colors that could mix together and cause it to make brown. So this was really fun. I enjoyed this a lot. It's not perfect, but I liked it. After I finished that, I wanted to do one more craft for this week, and I was having a hard time figuring out what I wanted to paint or draw, so I just went down to our basement looking around for stuff to paint, and we have just a basket full of Easter eggs down there, so I just grabbed one, and then I painted 3 base coats on this. It took forever to cover up the blue, and I really don't think the white paint I'm using is great at covering up other colors. But I decided, you know, since summer's coming, I'm gonna do some like cold treats. So I did an ice cream cone and a couple popsicles, and paint ended up accidentally going off to the side in the popsicle one, so I made it 2 popsicles instead of the only one that I was planning. And then I made a nice little strawberry ice cream cone. I really liked making this one, it was fun. And since I am impatient and didn't actually wait for the 3rd coat of paint to dry completely, you have like white streaks where it goes from like a darker to a lighter color of paint, which I really liked, and the egg shells, because they are like shells, are kind of textured, and I like that. And so that was all I created this week. The little tiny wall hanging, which is really small, the card, and the Easter egg. I should probably seal up the card and the Easter egg, but we'll do that later. I hope you had a fun time watching. Bye-bye!